read Out of the Dust by Karen Hesse for my Newbery Award winner. This book is about a young girl named Billy Joe. She lives in the panhandle of Oklahoma with her mother and father during the Dust Bowl. Like many farmers in her area, the family struggles through the drought and the dust. They keep on the bright side and hoping that there's going to be rain, but the rain just doesn't come. They get teased a couple times, but it does not seem to come. It seems like one thing after another happens to both her family and the small town. The small town that they do everything for each other. Even when they're struggling, they will try to hand out food or give help to other people in need. But Billy Joe's family is hit with a devastating loss. Her mother had an accident with fire, and it caught the mother on fire and Billy Joe's hands on fire. The loss of Billy Joe's mother was a big turning point in the book. She struggled with not being able to use her hands, not being able to talk to her mother like she normally did, and her father had become even more distant with the loss of his wife. Billy Joe has finally just had enough and decides that she can't live in the dust anymore. So she climbs on a train and runs away. She gets about 2-3 days out when she realizes the only place that she really needs to be is home. When she comes back home, her father and her reunite. They have a closer bond than they ever have before, and they realize that they need each other to get through this dust storm more than they need anything else. By the end of the story, Billy Joe fights through the pain of her burned hands and relearns to play the piano. And it rains, and the wheat comes back. And Billy Joe's father talks about learning and planting other different kinds of crops to maybe help out the soil so they don't have the Dust Bowl again. This book was a really interesting book for me to read. It brought up a lot of memories of my great-grandmother telling me stories about the Dust Bowl. She lived in northeastern Kansas, so it was not as bad as it was in the panhandle of Oklahoma, but it was still pretty devastating. Many times my grandfather, her son, would make a comment about the heat or the dry weather, and she would just laugh at him, saying, "You haven't seen anything until you live through the Dust Bowl." But I think that because of the Dust Bowl, farmers and other people have figured out that the way we were farming was not a good way. And so they've redone how to farm and what crops to plant and where, and to not till as much. But this book shows younger children that it doesn't matter your age, you can do so many different things. Billy Joe, she went through different devastations and she fought through them with both her pride and through love, because she knew she was doing it for her father and for herself. This is something really important for children, to always believe in themselves and to believe in that their family will be there to support them. The project that I have picked out is a side-by-side column of the differences and the likenesses of Billy Joe and her father. Many times throughout the book, it'll say how they wipe the back of their hands the same way, or they both have red hair, but there's also many differences. Billy Joe loves to play the piano and her father does not. That was something she got from her mother. So this could be a fun class project to do as a class, or as they get older to do by themselves. But thank you for my presentation on Out of the Dust.